broadcasting live 4 days a week worldwide.
From the sunny beaches of Southern California,
this is ExtremeHealthRadio.com.
Hey, you're listening to Ty Bollinger of CancerTruth.net. You're also listening to Justin and Kate with Extreme Health Radio. These guys are great. Enjoy listening to them. I always do.
Here we are once again.
Memorial Day weekend.
That's right.
We got a long weekend coming up, which is always a good thing on a Friday to know you kind of have that Monday feel of a holiday.
That's right. Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah. Our neighborhood, however, we will not be participating in the Memorial Day weekend.
Lots of drunken revelry.
Festivities. I agree. Gosh, our neighborhood.
I know, right?
Sometimes they can be a little rowdy.
A little rowdy. We won't be participating in that, but this is episode 254, right?
Correct.
254.
We'll go give them green juice.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
We should.
We should go out, and that's our contribution to the block party.
I don't think drinking a beer and then a green juice would probably go well together.
It might alkalize.
It would.
Well, here, sober up, people.
Whether or not they drink it and not throw up is
Here's a chlorella
question.
shot. Yeah, I know, right? They probably would. And green throw up doesn't sound so nice.
That does not sound nice. This is episode 254, and let's see, for reference, today is Friday, May 23rd, 2014.
Wow.
Got that pretty quick.
Nice.
I never know what date it is. I never know what date it is or time it is.
You really don't.
No.
Not your strong point. I love you.
I kind of just live in the now, I guess.
So that's... Eckhart would be proud.
Yeah, he would.
You'd be making him proud.
You're making him proud. So, yeah, this is episode 254, and I've got a lot to get to today. I hope all of you guys are doing well. We broadcast live 4 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So if you'd like to join us in the live chat room, you can do that and ask your questions. And on the Friday show, you can call in if you like. And so you can do that if you want to join the show.
949-505-9585.
Look at you.
In the old memory bank.
The old memory bank.
Yep.
I like it.
Thank you.
So, yeah, feel free to do that if you'd like to contact us.
It's all the detoxing I've been doing. Cleared out my pineal gland and opened my frontal lobe. And I don't know.
You don't even know what you're
I don't know what I'm talking about. Sounded good.
Who doesn't love their frontal lobe open?
Frontal lobe.
My frontal lobe.
Okay, sorry. I'll just be quiet and drink my smoothie over here.
No, I'm going to let people know if they want to email us, they can do that. Justin at extremehealthradio.com.
Or Kate, Kate, at extremehealthradio.com.
So feel free to do that. And if you guys want to support the show, lots of different ways to do that. We have a store. We accept donations. But what a lot of people have been doing lately is buying their products from Amazon through our link. So if you guys would like to do that, every single time you make a purchase, it really does help us a lot. It's really, really helpful. So if you want to do that, you just have to remember to do it. That's the hardest part, is to go to extremehealthradio.com/Amazon, or you can go to our website, and there's links on the top right. Click on that link and make your purchase, and then that will give us a little bit of a commission for your order.
And that'd be good, because sometimes people don't think they're... I know my own family sometimes that want to support us, they get confused thinking, is this... did I do it right? Because it looks like an Amazon page.
Yeah, it just...
So it's going to look normal.
Yeah, it just simply redirects you to Amazon.com. But Amazon keeps track of where you came from. And then
that's just good to remind people, though, because I think sometimes, like, other generations or people that aren't good at computers, like myself, might be like, I don't know, it doesn't look any different. You know?
Yeah.
So it does it.
Yeah, it does. It does. And so that's a really great way to support us. You don't have to buy anything health related, and you can do that every single time you make a purchase, and that helps us a lot. So if you are unable to donate or to go to our store and check out some of the products there, that's a great thing to do if you make purchases on Amazon. So it's a great thing. So how do you like your smoothie, Kate?
Man, I don't mean to be
Looks
rude,
good.
but this is one of the best smoothies ever.
Rude?
Well, drinking while I'm supposed to be talking.
Oh.
But I have plans today after the show, and I gotta multitask here.
I listen to, regular radio stations, and they do that.
They eat food?
I listen to a sports radio show sometimes, every now and then,
and they'll be munching on things?
well, not munching on things, but they'll drink their water, or hear them drink things.
That's true. So, I'll try not to slurp, but I remember at the beginning, in the first couple of months of joining the show with you, we got an email from some woman saying that we shouldn't be eating. Do you remember that?
I do.
Oh, that was sad. So ever since then, I've been very, it stuck with me. I've been very careful not to eat, but drinking through a straw isn't going to be that big of a deal. But in that smoothie, you wouldn't even know what's hiding out in there.
Uh-oh, what do you got?
Well, it's the typical, I usually do like the morning smoothie with the scoop of the vanilla whey protein powder, the One World Whey that we like. And then I do blueberries, strawberries, and a little dab of honey, half an avocado, little slice of banana sometimes if I'm feeling like it wants to be extra creamy. Okay. Which it did today.
It felt like that?
It did.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Some water, some green leaf stevia, and...
Any coconut water?
A little tiny bit, because we hardly had any left. A little bit of coconut water. And then I threw in, thanks to your suggestion last night, I threw in some dulse and kelp.
Ooh.
To get some seaweed in there. You're right. You don't even know it's in there.
You can't taste it.
And then some Vitality Herbs and Clay, Sacred Clay.
Oh,
to detox.
Going for a little detox, are we?
Yeah. Oh, and some ice, because it kind of, sometimes the clay can be a little gritty. Yeah. And it kind of creeps me out in a smoothie that's supposed to taste good. Yeah. So if I blend it with ice, actually, that's the trick.
Really?
The ice and the clay, you can't tell what's crunchy ice and what's gritty clay.
Look at you, chef, blender chef.
I am blender chef.
I know.
I'm a blender chef. That's a good good term.
I heard David Wolf say that one time.
We didn't make it up.
No.
Okay. A blender chef.
But it's good.
I'm going to go with that.
So you got your little antioxidants, and you got
everything. I got
You got low sugar?
I got low sugar. Well, I try. I put a little honey in there, but
The seaweed, so you put dulse and kelp, and you can't taste it, right?
Mm-mm. No, it's pretty dang good.
Yeah, that's good.
Then after the show, I'm going to make a chocolate smoothie. I'm very into the smoothie thing. I think since our Vitamix was broken for a few days, I went through withdrawals.
Yeah.
And that ghetto blender that took its place, that was just kind of a silly little thing. It didn't work very well. So I think now that we have it, it's like I can't wait to just blend things.
Yeah, it feels good. And too, it's summertime, or eat a little bit lighter. And
this is the official summer kickoff, Memorial Day.
That's right. Is that right?
That's why everybody goes nuts.
Oh, that's correct, huh? Yeah, I'm used to. I forget about that. Memorial Day. That's when people go nuts on the summer.
Apparently, that's when you can bust out the white pants and.
Oh, that's right.
Start to wear your summer clothes, and.
You can't wear black pants and.
Well, you could, but.
wouldn't go over
then you're
too
mourning the summer.
That's true. They always say you shouldn't wear dark clothing in the summer, right?
I mean, whoever they are, I've heard. Yeah, you're not supposed to wear white pants after Labor Day.
Are you serious?
So after September, apparently you put your white pants away, but Memorial Day you bust them out. I don't know.
Who are these people?
Who are these? Right?
I mean, come on. We can do whatever we want. That's part of being an adult. You get to do whatever you want.
I'm taking back my white pants, dark clothes.
Yeah, you should wear white pants in the winter and dark clothes in the summer. Just because you can.
Well, I think I might.
You know what?
The fashionistas wouldn't like us right now. They'd be like, you can wear off-white pants, winter white, but not white.
Joan Rivers would talk about you.
Hopefully. It's a dream of mine.
Yeah, if Joan
then my life is completely fulfilled.
Oh my gosh. If Joan Rivers talks about me on her show. Whatever she's doing, she's had a lot of plastic surgery, hasn't she?
Well, I believe she has.
Yeah, it's looking that way. Joan Rivers.
That's a blast from the past.
Yeah, I feel, what's his name? Adam Bergstrom was talking about. He talks about how you can wear different colors on different days of the week. Have you heard about that?
I have. It's like, I don't know. I wonder what Friday is. We should be wearing it.
Yeah.
Go get it.
Go get it. Put it on now.
Go get Kelly Green. Go get burnt sienna and throw that on your body.
You know who talks about that, too, as an upcoming guest? We're going to have Ina Segal.
Oh, she's big into color therapy, right?
Steven Seagal's daughter.
It is not.
No.
That is not true.
That's not true.
But I think who wrote the foreword to her book, though, is Bernie Siegel.
Oh, really?
Not to be confused with Seagal. I mean, I could
Not
see
to
that.
be confused with Steven Seagal or Ina Segal.
Right. Seagal or Bernie
It's a lot of
Siegel.
Seagals. I don't know how we're going to...
Seagal, Siegel. Ooh.
So Bernie Siegel.
I think he wrote I believe he wrote the foreword to her book.
Cool. He's great, isn't he?
He's awesome.
Yeah, we heard him in the last Hay House Summit, didn't we?
What?
Yeah,
That's coming up.
Yeah.
The Hay House World
Yeah,
Summit.
for those of you that are interested, we have a little upcoming events thing on our sidebar of our website now. And whenever there's a handful, probably no more than 3 upcoming events, we're going to put them there on the right-hand side. And we got a couple of them. We got the Hay House one. I can't wait for that one.
What do we got? Roll them out. The Hay House World Summit 2014.
2014 from May 31st to June 9th. And they're going to have 70 people. I'm sorry. They're going to have 30 people, presenters, and then an addition. No, they had 30 last year. This year they're going to have 70.
Gee.
As if 30 wasn't enough. Gonna be
70 more or 70 total?
70 more.
So 100.
Look at that.
The way you were explaining. No comment.
Good.
The way you were explaining it made it sound like they have 70 this year instead of 30.
I know. I was a little bit confusing.
Yeah, so don't make fun of me. Back off. Retract. Recalibrate.
Yeah, so they're going to have 70 more for 100 total. So if you want to check it out, we're looking forward to it. We love the one last year.
I really get a lot out of it. It's, to me, in my personal opinion, it's just the right amount of health and wellness and spirituality. It's like all...
It's all together.
And some, what do you call it? Like some...
motivational stuff.
Yeah, that kind of success stuff.
Yeah, success, motivation.
It's neat. It's a really neat thing. Like, yeah, you have Chris Carr talking about green juices, and then the next person you have talking about how to succeed in your career. It's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. They have... if you're listening to this in the future, maybe in a few months or a few years in the future, you can go there and probably purchase it. I think what they do is they package it all up. It's free to listen to live as it's happening, which we're going to do, but then you can also purchase it after it's all done, and they throw in a bunch of extra stuff if you purchase it. So if you go to extremehealthradio.com/hayhouse, HAYHOUSE, you can sign up for that, and I think you have to sign up in order to be able to listen as well to the free event, but they send you all the details and everything when you sign up, so pretty cool.
What time is it, our time, that it airs that every...
yeah, it's available every single day here. Let's see.
Is it a week or 2?
May 31st to June 9th. It looks like it's going to be about
10 days.
Yeah, 10 days actually.
Okay. I'm just curious.
I'm not sure. If you sign up, I think what they do is they send you the exact schedule.
Gotcha.
Depending on what time zone you're in.
I gotcha.
So it's pretty cool. So day 1, they have Cheryl Richardson.
I love her.
Louise Hay. Deepak Chopra.
Cool.
And they have a couple movies. They've got 2 movies they're showing every night, so it's pretty cool.
Nice. I want to watch some. Their movies are good.
Yeah, they have free. The first 3 people every day are free, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people every day that you can pay for. I think you pay like $7, and you get access to the 7 people that they give, in the premium section.
Wow.
And then you also get access to 2 movies every day. It's pretty
Are they
cool.
like movies that have never been released before just for Hay House, or is it just for the summit?
They're movies that some you have to pay for, some you could find, but like they have the tapping solution.
Oh, cool.
They have You Can Heal Your Life, The Power of Intention, Hungry for Change, Food Matters. I think some of those you can get online. I'm not sure. Some you have to pay for.
Okay.
But just really cool stuff. And they have interviews with all these people. Lisa Garr, Nick Pelosi.
Nice.
Nick Ortner. Pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's
coming up. I'm going to be doing.
I know, right? That's coming up. And then we're also really excited about the Truth About Cancer, the Quest for the Cures Summit by Ty Bollinger.
Woohoo! This starts on Memorial Day.
That starts on May 26th. Is that Memorial Day?
That's right.
That's this Monday.
Monday. Well, it's when it's observed or whatever.
So he's calling it he's making up a new term here, Kate.
Like a blender chef?
Like a blender chef.
Docu-series?
Docu-series.
It's pretty good.
I like it. It's pretty creative.
Docu-series.
No, but this is going to be
really creative.
This is going to be really cool. I'm really excited about this. So we're going to be how are we going to have time to work and
we're not
to do our website.
We'll see you guys June 31st when we're back in the studio.
June 9th, we'll see you guys.
Yeah, right.
But this goes from May 26th to June 1st.
So we're going to be overlapping with Hay House here.
Yeah, a couple things are going to be overlapping. Let's see.
I hope they're at different times. All I got to say.
No, actually, June 1st. Yeah, this will overlap a little bit, the truth about cancer, but I would highly recommend going to extremehealthradio.com/truth about cancer. All one word, lowercase, no spaces. Truth about cancer. That's the extremehealthradio.com/truth about cancer. And you sign up for this, and it's free again, but it's all video based, and you're going to learn more about cancer than you ever thought possible.
Yeah.
Natural ways to treat it, why certain people get cancer, other people don't. You're going to get interviews with people who have successfully overcome their cancer using natural methods. You're going to get different doctors and authors and researchers and scientists talking about different protocols that work on specific types of cancers. Mm-hmm. People like Dr. Robert Scott Bell, Burton Goldberg, Suzanne Summers is going to be in this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Dr. Rashid Buttar, Chris Wark, Nicholas Gonzalez.
Wow, these are too many names to write in the notes here.
Yeah, you can just, if you want to look at everyone who's going to go in there or be a part of this, go to extremehealthradio.com/truth about cancer, sign up, and then you'll get all the details of how to listen and when to listen and what's going to be available and all that kind of stuff in your time zone. So I'm really excited about this one. It's 3 days, 11 hours. That's what it says.
Wow.
Pretty cool, right?
It's a lot of work.
And then we've got the Thyroid Summit coming. This is really cool. Amazing you could do a whole entire summit on the thyroid.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't that amazing? There must be so many people that have thyroid issues.
Whoa.
Yeah, that one just started.
What the heck was that?
That started as I clicked on the link, but that was the Thyroid Summit link.
Oh my gosh.
But the Thyroid Summit, see, the thyroid affects things like anxiety, chronic fatigue. I'm reading off a list here. Chronic fatigue, cold intolerance, depression, hair loss, heart disease, heart palpitations, infertility, insomnia, loss of sex drive, dry skin, shortness of breath, sexual problems, obesity, mood swings, and many, many more. So the thyroid is so important.
Well, thyroid's always I've learned that it's always been called the master control.
Yeah, it's what basically controls your hormones.
Yeah, and your hormones are everything.
They have a ton of doctors on here talking about all these different diseases and different protocols. Dr. Jonathan Wright, I mean, it's worth it just to listen to him talk.
Oh, yeah,
We're working on getting him on the show.
I know.
But
I hope we do.
yeah,
we
pretty
will.
Cool.
How long does that one run for?
That one goes from June 2nd to June 9th. So that one ends the same day that the Hay House Summit. So that one's only 7 days.
Still, there's so many summits at one time. It's so funny.
But it's cool. So if you're interested in that.
It's kind of a neat way to start the kickoff to this next season, I think. It's pretty motivational to kind of have some stuff to kick us into high gear with our health going into summer. And
going into spring and summer.
I think so.
I would, so if you go to extremehealthradio.com/thyroid summit, and you'll see a link on our sidebar for that if you want to check that out. And all you have to do, again, is just sign up. I would sign up for all three of these. In fact, I have, and so you guys should do the same. It's just really good stuff. I mean, who doesn't need to know about all those insomnia, infertility, anxiety, chronic fatigue, depression? I mean, it's crazy. Your thyroid addresses all of that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. We have a thyroid.
I know, right?
No, really. I mean, you think about there's some master center in your body. I mean, it's neat the way we're built and made. And
hey, it's 9:22.
Oh, of course it is. And on my laptop, it's 11:22. I'm 2 hours ahead of you.
Wow.
But I've time traveled to be here with you today. I don't know why this computer, we've reset it twice and it keeps coming back.
Time traveled through your Stargate.
It's through my Stargate.
So we had an interesting...
My wormhole.
Your wormhole. We had an interesting week. We had episode 252, Wendy Wilson.
Right.
She was fun. She taught us how to make herbal tinctures, which would be fun to get into. And she talked about the dangers of mercury fillings, chemtrails, vaccination. She was really good. After
our show, we talked to their off air a lot about the on their site they have a snake bite kit for your pets.
Oh yeah,
that was interesting. I wish we would have gotten into that kind of stuff on the show. There's too much to get into every show, you know.
I know the snake bite. She her dog was was bit by some, what was it? What kind of snake?
Copperhead.
Copperhead. And so as a result of that experience, she put together this whole kit that works for, does it work for humans and people? Or is it just for people or for dogs?
I'm not, I know it was made just for dogs. I'm not sure if it would do you harm or work on you as a human, but yeah, I'm sure she has a human kit too. I mean, there was like an emergency kit. There's all the cool kind of stuff. She
has a really interesting product that I want to pick up one of these days when there's extra funds flowing around called the Heart Attack Pack.
Oh, yeah.
Her website, I'm going to go to it right now. It's called thepowerherbs.com. And she's just got some really cool stuff. She's got some stuff for dry eye. You know what's amazing is that she's got a whole section for dry eye. And she was talking about during the show how there's that connection between the chemtrails and dry eye.
Yep.
And a lot of people apparently have this problem with their eyes being too dry.
Yeah, interesting.
Which is really strange.
Do you have dry eye?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's never been something I've dealt with before.
Yeah, I don't think so at all. But apparently that's a big problem for people. And but this heart attack pack looks interesting. Apparently it's a whole kit that you give people if they have a heart attack, if they're actually dealing with a heart attack in the moment.
Wow.
And it's got, I think it looks like 4 or 5 tinctures and some different instructions and different pastes and gels, I think. And
wow. That's actually good to know because you're thinking if you're actually having a heart attack, how are you going to get someone to swallow a pill or an herb? Or so it looks like they're all liquid or gels or things like that.
Yeah. So you just,
wow.
I don't know how you administer, but I think she's got a whole procedure about, instructions on how to administer it to someone.
Gosh, we all should have that.
I know, right? Just like in your medicine
in your
cabinet.
car. I mean, it's probably actually you don't want it in your car because it would overheat, but you want it on you in case you're somewhere where, someone's going to have a situation like that, an emergency.
Yeah, wouldn't it be cool if they used that, if EMTs and ambulances use that? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I wonder what the success rate of that is if you use it properly.
Yeah, I know it's got cayenne pepper in there, like in a tincture.
Open up your veins or
arteries.
Valves,
yeah,
arteries.
Pretty interesting stuff. They have herbal teas. They have hot medicines. Thepowerherbs.com. Wendy Wilson.
She was great.
She was really good.
She knows her stuff.
Organ and body cleanses. So they have the bowel cleanse kit, urinary tract cleanse kit. That would be pretty good.
That would be actually urinary tract.
Kidney, bladder, and urinary cleanse. Liver, gallbladder cleanse. Then tincture. Wow, they just got so much stuff here. Pretty amazing. Detox tea. Blood cleanse. So yeah, she's got some good stuff. And then we also had Ty Bollinger on episode 253.
Ty Bollinger.
And he talked about mammograms, bras causing breast cancer. Pretty amazing. Who would have thought? Women probably don't want to hear that, do they? Or do they? Do they? They don't like either one of those things, do they?
What do you mean they don't like either one?
Well, don't most women like to take off their bras when they get home from work and things?
I don't know if that's true.
Really? I always thought they were uncomfortable.
I think you kind of get, I'm speaking for myself, but I just got so used to them. That's not something I ever thought of. You just go throughout your day and then all of a sudden it's nighttime and you take it off.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are the handful of people that cannot wait to get it off, because they feel it's uncomfortable, but I feel like it's like anything, like underwear or anything that you just get used to and you forget it's even on.
Yeah.
So for the most part, I don't think that is the case, but
interesting. Yeah.
There was girls in the chat room though. We were talking to Ty saying like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I didn't know." Like they didn't know that information.
Oh wow.
About the bra. It's like unless you're in this world for a while and you're cycling through, the health stuff, you're going to come across different things at different times. Like I had heard that a couple of years ago, but to me it was like, oh, of course. But not everybody knows that stuff.
Yeah, and
I think it was a real eye opener. The
guy who's really on a campaign against that is Sid Singer. We've had him on our show, I think, 3 different times, and we'll put a link to his show, Sidney Ross Singer. And he wrote a book called Dress to Kill, I think it is, right?
I think, or Killer Culture. Yeah, Dress to
Kill. Or
Killer
Culture. Or is that?
I don't know. I'm getting confused.
Yeah, I know his website's Killer Culture, I think. But we'll put links to his shows. And we'll put, those links so you can listen to those shows. But, he talks a lot about that. The bras, the connection between breast cancer, mammograms. Do they tell people to get mammograms? Like women, do they advise
He said at age 40 to advise them once a year to go get a regular one.
Is that when they start advising women?
That's what he said. And he also said that every time you do that, it increases your exposure or your possibility or
your risk
by 2% every time.
Every single time, yeah.
So if you're starting at 40 and at 60, I mean, you've gone 20 times, did the math. I mean, that's not a good, not a good number.
That's not helping the cause, is it? Yeah. Yeah, he explained how it's some kind of ionizing radiation or something. And then it was interesting what he talked about Jason Vale. Remember he talked about him and the apricot kernels and how they put him in prison?
For selling apricot seeds, right?
Yeah, for selling apricot seeds.
Or apple seeds. Was it apple seeds?
Well, apple seeds apparently do the same thing. I don't think they're as powerful as apricot seeds, but apple seeds have the same kind of effect on cancer as apricot seeds as well. But I don't think they're as strong. But
they both have Voyatrol?
Yeah.
B17?
B17, yeah, they do. And that's why they have, I think if you put a link or if you write this down, they have a Johnny Appleseed Cancer Conference, it's called.
Aha!
Yeah.
It's so funny. I was joking about that after the show, Johnny Appleseed.
I know, right? But yeah, so they have a cancer conference. We'll put a link to it. But this guy got put in prison because I think he cured his own cancer with apricot kernels. And he's a part of Ty's upcoming summit. But he cured his own cancer with it and then started selling it. But then the FDA said, no, you can't do that.
Did they even give him a warning, or did they just throw him in there?
I don't know the story. I don't know. Maybe he talks about it on the thing with Ty Bollinger, the upcoming
summit.
But yeah,
I can't imagine that you're in prison. He said he was in federal prison for 5 years.
5 years.
Can you imagine everybody else going like, "What are you in for?" And the guy's like, "Murder, rape, all this stuff," and then the guy's like, "Selling apricot seeds."
I sold apricot seeds.
They'd be like, "What?" I mean, that doesn't make sense to anybody.
No,
that doesn't make sense. It's like ridiculous.
No, I mean the people in there must just laugh.
I know.
What the heck?
I know.
It was interesting because after the show, you and I were talking about that. It's fascinating that the official story of the FDA is they're going to tell people that they don't want people making claims on food products or claims that can cure disease, and so they don't want people lying to other people, right? Like their whole thing is like, like the reason why we have to prosecute people, put people in prison, is because we don't want people making obscure claims that are not true and lying to people about their health. But at the same time, everything that they do is a lie.
Right.
Well,
I guess their whole thing is they want to be the ones to control the lies. I mean, that's what they are.
Yeah. Pharmaceutical companies lie to you about, the side effects. They lie to you about the purported benefits of their drugs. And then everything you see on TV, that's a lie, And so that's not, so the real reason they're putting people like him in prison is that they want to protect the interest of the pharmaceutical companies, because the pharmaceutical companies know that these things have an effect on cancer cells. And so they don't want competition, basically. And so the FDA, what we're talking about is, why don't they just come out and say that this is the reason why?
Yeah, I'd have more respect for them if they just lied to me, or if they didn't lie to me. If they told me the truth about lying, then that's fine.
I know, right?
I'd actually have a lot more respect for that.
And it's so interesting. Is why my question is, if they're telling us the real reason is because we're trying to protect you guys from people making false claims, what's so wrong about a company lying to people about the purported benefits? I mean, isn't it ultimately up to us? If Coke runs a commercial and says that we're going to, get more chicks and we're going to have more energy and we're going to have a better life. That's basically what they're saying on their commercials.
Yeah.
If Coca-Cola can do that, why is it such a big deal that these companies lie to us? I mean, people, someone might lie to us every day.
Right.
Well, why is that? If that's what they're telling us, it's such a weak thing. I mean, why shouldn't companies be able to lie to us? And it's up to us to do the research.
To discern, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like ultimately it just takes the power. It's like they're trying to be the mother and the father, saying, "Oh, you can't lie to little Johnny, our son Johnny, because he's a little boy. He can't understand what's truth and what's not." I mean, ultimately it's up to us So why not just let companies lie, take out the FDA, tell us the truth, and tell us that, the real reason is that we're protecting the pharmaceutical companies' profits, and everyone will be happy. And if people are lied to, then that's their own fault.
Yeah, if people want to go buy into the lie or be okay with the lie, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
But you got to have this weird, that's just such a weird thing, isn't it?
It's so backward. It's so backward.
It's so weird.
It's like the husband cheating on the wife. It's like, if you were cheating on me, I'd have more respect if you told me.
Yeah.
Than if you just all of a sudden filed for divorce. I mean, I'd probably be more okay with you. I mean, I'd be mad. I mean, there'd be a lot of things that I'd be, but I'd actually have more respect for the person who came and exposed the lie and then told me the truth, and then you deal with it, Yeah,
instead of...
Then you make up your mind. You have the,
Yeah, then you have the power.
You have the power and you have the brain to be able to make your own choice after that. But,
so why not just come out and just allow companies to lie to us if they want to? And some companies will, some companies won't. But then with the age of the internet, we have all knowledge at our fingertips. We can do our own research and find out, okay, is this what they're saying? Because all the infomercials, all this stuff is lies anyway. And so we can't trust any. It's ultimately up to us anyway. So why not just allow people to say what they want, and then put the power back in the hands? But see, we can't really have that because it gives power into the hands of the people.
And then we're not sheeple.
And then because I think the role of the FDA originally, when it first got set up, was to regulate interstate commerce between. With products going in between states,
crossing borders and things.
Yeah, so if a pharmaceutical company was going to, if they had their plant in New Mexico and they were going to sell their products to, doctors or distributors in New York, the role of the FDA was to make sure that when the products were in transit, so the products weren't in the jurisdiction of any one state, it was in the middle of being transported. That's when the FDA could regulate that and make sure that it is what it was. But then now it turns into this whole weird thing where they're putting people in prison for selling
apple seeds or apricot seeds.
Isn't that just weird? So strange.
Something going on there, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm curious what the listeners think about that, because I'm sure that they've got a thought or two about that. Pretty wild, isn't it?
It's a good forum topic, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what? Well, let's take a little break here now, and when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about the Anita. I keep saying
Anita Moorjani.
Anita Moorjani.
I know you keep wanting to call her Anit. Anit.
Anit. But we watched an interview with her recently while we were doing the sauna and stuff like that, and so really interesting. She, for those who don't know, she had lymphoma, right? Some kind of lymphoma.
I think that's right, lymphoma.
Yeah, do you want to share a little bit about her story?
Yeah, she had lymphoma, and I'm trying to remember, she struggled with it for I think 3 years or so.
Yeah.
And it eventually ended up putting her, she basically walked into or crawled or got carried into a hospital and went into a coma within a few minutes kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And then in that hospital bed, she basically died.
Yeah.
And she goes through talking about what she experienced and how she had the choice to kind of come back or not. And she decided to come back. And when she woke up, it was the kind of thing where her tumor on her brain or wherever it spread had shrunk by 70% in 24 hours and then continued to go away. And I think 4 days later, she was at a party.
Yeah.
Out of the hospital, completely released. Doctors didn't know what the heck to do with her. She's a miracle. She's a miracle. And to this day, they claim that they haven't seen a story like that because doctors said that tumors don't just do that. They don't go away within 3 days by themselves. And, after you're basically pronounced dead and you're seeing yourself out of your body and you're basically up there, hanging out with relatives and then you come back. the whole story is just pretty wild.
Really wild. So we've got a couple thoughts about that because she mentioned a couple things that really piqued our interest. So we're going to talk about that after the break, and we'll be right back. If you have any digestive problems whatsoever, I highly recommend getting a Squatty Potty that sits right underneath your toilet. Squatty Potties help give relief from constipation and bloating, hemorrhoids and straining, IBS, pelvic floor, and bladder issues. See, as humans, we are designed to squat when we eliminate, and when we sit on a toilet, that angle kinks and pinches off the puborectalis muscle in your colon, and the Squatty Potty opens the colon to eliminate more quickly and completely. Listen to what Daniel Vitalis has to say about that.
One of the reasons I love to promote the idea of the squat toilet is because for a couple of reasons. One, there's a ligament that wraps around your colon. that prevents you, when you're in the seated position, from being able to have an effective bowel movement. But that ligament's loosed when we're in a full squat. So people are fighting their own body to defecate this way. Now, in the rest of the world, people defecate in the squat. Use a squat toilet. I'm so big on this. I've got a video on my website about that. But I really believe that it's important we start to actually defecate in an anatomically correct position. So, nobody sits on chairs to defecate except people in the West. And we have more rectal and bowel problems than anybody, more constipation than anybody. But this actually puts our body in a disadvantageous position for trying to go to the bathroom. So if you don't have a squat toilet or don't want to invest in one, I don't know, stack some books up. But get something where you can actually squat up above the toilet, or at least get your knees up higher.
Justin and I love our Squatty Potty. Start improving your digestion and elimination today by going to extremehealthradio.com/squat or see it in our store. Again, go to extremehealthradio.com/squat and watch the video to learn more.
So a few years ago when I was working for this company, it was a really small company, and I had been wanting a Vitamix blender for years and years and years, but they're so expensive, and I just hadn't saved the money at that time to get one. And so as a Christmas bonus, they knew that I loved the Vitamix, so they got me a Vitamix, the 5000 blender. And that thing is so incredible. It was right at the beginning of my raw food journey, and I was using it about 3 times a day, really. Today, I still use it about twice a day to make blended smoothies and things like that. But the Vitamix blender is really, really great. And if you go to extremehealthradio.com/Vitamix, that will redirect you over to there, and then you'll be able to purchase that, and we'll get a commission for your order. And you'll also get free shipping, too, so that'll be great for you if you're interested in saving about $25 on the shipping. And with the Vitamix, you can make sauces and dips and bread. You could make ice cream with it. I've done a lot of ice cream. You can just make the most incredible things. And it's my favorite because it's got a tamper on it. And you can put ice and frozen berries and avocado and some honey and things like that, and with no water at all, and you have that tamper, and you can make the most amazing ice creams with it. So the Vitamix is my favorite blender of choice, and if you're in the market to buy one, I would greatly encourage you to do so if you have the money for it. And if you do it through us, through extremehealthradio.com/Vitamix, I'll get a little commission for it, and you'll get free shipping. So it works out for you and for us too. So if you're in the market, please do it through us. That'd be really cool. And you're going to love this thing when you get it. You're going to fall in love with it. You'll never go back to a regular blender again. So check that out, extremehealthradio.com/Vitamix, and I hope you enjoy it.
100% listener supported. Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Join the show now on Skype at Extreme Health Radio or call 949-505-9585. Hello. That's 949-505-9585.
If I could sing, I'd sing along with them. I'll tell you that.
I'd like to hear you try.
I don't think that'd be a good idea.
Okay.
I don't think I'm missing that vocal
gene.
talent. That gene, yeah.
The singing gene.
Yeah.
If genes are even
Genes are
a
even
factor
real.
in that. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh, we're having a good time here on this Free for All Friday show, episode 254. And if you guys would like to join us, you can always call us up or join the chat room. Anything you'd like, you can send us an email. And we are just so excited to have our Vitamix back, I tell you.
Oh my gosh.
We use a 2-bit little $20 blender for about 5 or 6 days, and oh my goodness, what a difference.
What a difference.
What a difference a day makes.
That's CR&R?
Isn't that a commercial?
Isn't that the suit?
That's the Men's Warehouse.
No, it's old school.
Oh.
Wasn't it like CR&R or something like that?
Probably. 24 little hours.
What a difference a day makes. And the
remember that?
difference is you.
Look at how programmed we are.
Little hours.
How sad is that?
What the heck?
That's like when I was a kid.
Yeah, I was going to say we were kids.
1983.
Wow.
Yeah, that's disturbing that we still know that.
I think it's C&R or clothiers.
You're right.
Huh?
With,
Clothiers.
I bet you can find that
That's a weird
commercial on
word.
YouTube.
Oh, I'm sure. See, my first boyfriend worked there.
Really?
Yeah, when we were in high school.
It wasn't Men's Warehouse?
Nope. Oh no, Men's Warehouse wasn't. Maybe it was around, but C&R. It was suits. Yeah, CNR.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. What a difference a day makes. I think he'd always joke about that too with his other friend.
Really?
Yeah. What a difference a day makes.
That is so funny. But yeah, we're so glad to have our blender back. That it's so, man, it's interesting how much you get used to these incredible products like the Bellicon, the Sauna, the Biomat, all these really great things.
Yeah, they are the Corvettes of
Vitamix
of products.
Yeah, it's just
the Bentley.
When you get them taken away, you realize, wow, they are really just amazing.
Yeah. I have this new appreciation for things when they're out of commission for a while and then you get them back. Like we loaned our Biomat even to someone the other day and I missed it so much. It was like 24 hours and I was like, ugh!
I know, right?
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
The things you appreciate so much,
So yeah, we had a little viewing session of, what was the interview? It was on Gaim when we were in our sauna the other day.
It was an interview with Lisa Garr.
That's right, Lisa Garr. And it was with Anita. Anita.
Good one.
I need to say that correctly.
Anita.
It's burned in my brain, like CNR, 24 little hours. It's burned in my brain as Anit.
Anit.
I don't know why.
Oh, funny.
Anita Morjani. And she was who Kate was talking about when we came, before we took the break.
Mm-hmm. It was an interesting interview, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really interesting. But what was really interesting is that the story was that she basically was going to get married to someone that she didn't love at all because
it was an arranged marriage.
It was an arranged marriage
in India, right?
Yeah, and she had this overbearing father and this strong family unit, and it was just this thing where everything she did in her life she did out of fear, and she was talking about how fearful she was of other people's opinions, fearful of how they might react to her, if they would kick her out of the family or stop being her friend or ridicule her. And she was just fearful of everyone's opinions and what could happen to her. And it was interesting because prior to her diagnosis of cancer, lymphoma, she was doing things like wheatgrass, remember? And she was living
a very anti-cancer diet because she had a best friend diagnosed and who else? Somebody else died.
Someone in her family, I think? No one in her family because she had no history of cancer.
That's right. It was nobody.
Yeah.
But people in her life started getting cancer and dying of cancer, and so she adopted that anti-cancer lifestyle and doing super healthy,
superfoods and juicing and all this stuff, doing super healthy things. And then the unthinkable happened, and she was diagnosed herself, which is pretty incredible because you think, oh, I'm doing wheatgrass, I'm doing all these things, and I'm invincible. But the common denominator is what she found out is that she was fearful. And I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, fear apparently drove her to that weak point where her body just kind of broke down and was able to, the scale tipped and not her favor.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, fearful. She talked about how fear is just the root of most disease. Same with Louise Hay in her book. I mean, fear is pretty much the underlying root of anyone's major disease or
is that the book,
Chronic
You Can
Illness.
Heal Your Life, that you read? Yeah.
So good.
I need to read that.
Such a good book.
Yeah, who was
telling
us recently Fear and Desire or something?
It was our friend Michelle from Organics.
Oh, yeah.
That we met.
Yeah. She makes this great underwear, but we'll put a link to it. This great
lymphatic.
Lets
your lymphs flow.
Yeah, she was talking about fear and desire, right, as the two main issues that
she was talking
people.
she had been talking with a friend, and they were talking about how, if you don't have fear, if you can rid yourself of fear and desire, you're going to live a happy life. You could be happy and probably disease-free because those are the two driving things that cause people problems. If you don't desire anything, I mean, think about that. We're always in the back of our mind wanting something. Mm-hmm. If you absolutely don't want anything and you have no desire, I mean, besides even personal goals and things, there's still desire there. But if you absolutely just don't desire things, you're not going to be disappointed. You're not going to have that pressure put on you.
Right.
Pressure for anything. I mean, the pressure is, what makes our minds stay up at night when you go into bed and you wanted to fall asleep and you can't sleep for an hour. I mean, it's such funny stuff that keeps us so bogged down.
And think about the mental energy and the emotional energy you spend thinking about those things that you're fearful of and where that energy could be going to heal your body. That's probably what happened to Anita. Is that she was just basically robbing her body of the energy that could have been used to fight cancer with her immune system. She was using that energy to be fearful and think about ruminating over possible scenarios and all that.
Yeah, that's what I do. I really connected with her on that level. I thought, gosh, I've unfortunately, I would say I've grown up in a life of fear as well. I mean, my whole life has been fearful of something, and like you just said, the possibilities. I haven't had a lot of real things to be fearful about, but I create this my own prison.
It's weird how two people will, if they've gotten rid of a potential fear, like let's say somebody fears an ex-boyfriend because he was getting violent, and then let's say he kills someone, goes to prison for the rest of his life. So you've essentially removed that fear, right? I mean, there's no possibility of parole. But it's interesting how we'll create some other thing to be fearful.
Oh, absolutely.
Isn't that weird?
That's the problem.
Why does the human mind work like that? That's so weird.
That's when you know how you're really wired, because I thought if I were to win the lottery and had $20 million in the bank, you'd think you'd have no fears, no worries. I would create something.
Yeah,
I would create something. I've
heard people that are really, really rich like that, they fear of losing their money.
Of course.
And bad investments, and people coming to you and trying to, get money from you and all that.
And a lot of the time they probably get cancer and things like that because they're so stressed out about it.
Yeah, the fear and the desire. The desire is an interesting one because is it wrong to desire things? Like, we all desire to have a roof over our head. And we all desire, like right now I'm hungry, so I desire food.
When you desire to help people through this station, and
yeah,
I know what you mean. I don't think all desire is bad, but I think if you strip stuff away and found the true reason why you were desiring something, that can be separated from desires that are healthy and desires that are unhealthy. Yeah, like for example, if you desire to be healthier, but then if you're desiring a brand new Lamborghini. Right.
It's not really that necessary,
right. And then the stress to get these things that you think are going to fulfill you, but the stress almost kills you so you can't even enjoy them when you do have them.
That's true. And I wonder, there must be some component of attachment and, desire. What is it? Desire. Yeah, there must be some role that attachment plays, because I'm sure it's possible to be able to be desire something that's healthy and good, but then not be attached to it. Not to be attached to getting it or having the outcome of it. Yeah. Because if you don't have any attachments, then whether you get it or whether you don't, like let's say someone's listening to the show and they really want the Vitamix or they really want the sauna that we sell, but they're completely happy if they don't get it. And so there's not that attachment where
that's the difference, I think.
We don't see ownership over and that's mine and that kind of thing. And putting, I think desire and stuff like that is, when you're putting it on external objects, thinking that they're going to make you happy I think that's the problem.
Well, we had quite the lesson in that, the schooling in that the last week. We completely got rid of half of the stuff we own.
Oh, I know.
Holy moly. We spring cleaned like no other. I think we did this last year too, but this beat all. This was pretty, and talk about you do have to go to that place of every time you're putting an object in a box is asking yourself oh, why am I attached to that? What's keeping me from debating about whether or not this goes to the Goodwill or not?
I know, right?
What is this? Yeah. Even when we were talking about going through old photos and yearbooks and things like that, it's like, I'd rather save photos than objects, I'm realizing, and they're more important, but even some photos. I don't know why we have such a hard time getting rid of photos that, were from 15 years ago that you might have been in with people you're not friends with anymore. Sure, it sparks a memory and takes you back to that place, but I don't know why I have 18 boxes of that. Do I need all of those things? Why am I so attached to my past?
Do you really have 18 boxes?
No.
I hope not.
I have about 5 huge ones.
Yeah.
They're just loose photos. They're not even in albums. I
know. And
you dig through them and there's my back there, but it's I don't want to throw away a picture in the back of my head's in that photo. Why would I ever need that photo in my life or that thing? Or, I even gave away my grandma's,
purse.
Purse. Yeah. I've been holding on to that thing since she passed away about 5 years ago or something like that. And, I haven't used it once, I haven't used it. It's not my style. It's old. Yeah. Why the heck was I holding on to it? And it's just because it was my grandma's, I
know.
Why? It's sitting there. What? I'm never going to use it.
I think we have this weird fascination with being attached to physical objects that remind us of things that we could otherwise be reminded of within our own mind.
Yeah.
Yes. And so it's this weird thing that we have, like relics and things and knickknacks and paraphernalia and objects that people that we love and care about used to own. Mm-hmm. But if you were to bring your grandma back, there's a high possibility that she could say, I never even really liked that anyway.
Or I owned that.
Yeah, give it back. I'd like that back.
Hey, please. That's my purse.
Why'd you steal it? No, but in actuality, a lot of these things that we use to remember these, past, people, loved ones who have passed away. Mm-hmm. You know what they would tell us? What? They'd probably say, "Be free of that." Yeah. Like, let that go. Go live. They wouldn't come back and want their stuff. If they came back, they would come back like Anita in her thing. She said she came back knowing that she had changed and the fear was going to change. She could start living fully. Yeah. That's what those people would tell us. Like, who cares about stuff? Go live. Yeah. And they would say, this purse, this doesn't represent me. It's just an object. It's just an object. It's just something I had. This doesn't embody them. This shirt or this trinket that I had that was passed down from family generations. I mean, all this stuff is it's a physical reminder of someone who's now non-physical. Absolutely. And so why not live in that non-physical state in our minds, in our spirits, in our souls? Why not just live there? And then we can just ditch all of these trinkets, because what they do when they're sitting up in the closets and they're sitting on, in our closets and laying around in piles, subconsciously on an energetic level, you walk into a room, you see these piles, and it burdens you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It just tells you, like, you think yourself, there's one more thing I have to do. I have to take care of that. Yeah. And who wants that? That, yeah. I mean, you think about those shows with hoarders and people, like, really bad. Like, what is going on energetically there? Like, I wonder, because my grandma was one of those people. I mean, going through her house took my family months and months and months, and it's like, what was all this stuff? Like, what energetically goes on in your brain? I mean, something is so wrong. I know, right? Yeah, on a spiritual, emotional level, that it just spirals, and that's a whole other show topic. But my gosh, like, I really think that if anybody were to have more time and they were to have gone to the other side and come back, they'd be like, it's the last stuff that matters. Stuff does not matter. I know, right? Can't take it with you, like the old saying goes. A physical object. Yeah, but it's good for me to really remind myself and ask myself and go down that path of why I seem to be attached to things. Like, why is that? Yeah, maybe it has to do with a quiet desperation that people have with depression. Maybe, we all have, I'm sure, some low-level form of that where, if we get rid of something that reminds us of our father or reminds us of our mother or a sibling, a brother or sister that passed away, or a good friend, if we get rid of that, we feel like we're going to be depressed because they're no longer with us. Yeah, like it takes them away when we give it away. But we realize that they're all with us, so I know. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to hold on to things. If you held on to everything, I mean, that's really what the cause of all disease is too, right? You're holding on to food that's causing problems in the body from when we were children, Right. You're not being able to disassociate with it and pass it on. And pass it out. So the whole idea of health is this circulation of eating food, passing it out, eating food, passing it out, and leaving no residue, and getting your circulation going. But it was interesting when we were doing the spring cleaning, I ran across a bunch of old pictures of me when I was a child. They're so cute. Birthday parties and stuff like that. I think you should post one. I know I should. I like to scan them all. That'd be cool. Every now and then post them in Facebook or something. That'd be very cool. But it was interesting too, because I was looking at my mom, and she's, for those that don't know, she had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma when she was 55, 1995 actually. Or she was early 50s or something, and she was a lifelong smoker. And after her cancer, and after basically I learned everything about health in the early 2000s, is when we started going on a healthy diet and juicing and blending and things. And so basically now that she does a lot of that, and so. Yeah, lots of herbal tinctures, and she's pretty on it. Yeah, she's doing infusions. I know, she's putting me to shame. Really cool stuff. But I look back at those pictures and I thought, what if she took care of herself then like she does now? And I bet she wishes she could go back and and quit smoking at that time, started exercising and doing, the healthy stuff that we're all doing, all you guys listening and us, and I bet she wishes we could go back. I started when I was 27. I wish I could go back to when I was like 10.
I know.
We all wish we could go back, but really we can all start now. That's the whole thing.
That actually encouraged me in a way, because we were talking about this and I thought, I'm so grateful I started at 30 instead of 50. Like, I feel like I just learned from the generation previous to me and actually took something away and made that change. And I'm like, yeah. And of course, I wish I started at 20. But like you said, you always want something even better for yourself. But the fact that like we really did take away something, and it's never too late to start.
Yeah.
But the sooner you can start, the better. Yeah. Like I'm so grateful that I started at 30 instead of 50.
I know, right?
That gives me, in the next 20 years, think of how many green juices will go through me instead of Twinkies. This is huge. It's huge. To put it all in perspective for me. Like if your mom would have started at 30 or quit smoking at 25.
Yeah.
She'd just be so much better off and farther along in her health journey. But
yeah, she could have avoided, because at that time she had cancer. She, I wish the internet was around. I wish people like Ty Bollinger doing these truth about cancer summits and stuff like that was available back then. But, she would have avoided chemotherapy and radiation and surgery, because she never would have got the cancer, most likely. And so all these things that are just incredible, it's really, really encouraging to know. Like someone like Mimi Kirk, gosh, she's in her late 70s, isn't she?
She is incredible.
And she only started when she was 50, I think. I think she became a vegetarian when she was 50 and only started doing raw within the less than 10 years. And look how amazing she looks.
She does have some good genes going on, though.
Oh, she does, yeah.
Not everybody will look like that if they start at 55 or 60.
But it's really incredible what you can do if you're willing to put in the effort and willing to do the work and willing to do the cleansing and to love your body enough and to love your life enough and to love your family enough. Because essentially all of this stuff is honoring God for giving us a body that we could do these things with, that we can love our families members with, that we can raise our children and be around for them. If you start taking care of yourself, even at 50, like she did.
Yeah.
She's almost 80 now, or like in her mid-70s, I think, 76 or something.
70s for sure. And
she looks incredible for her age. It's amazing what you can accomplish in 25 years, but that's a late 25 years in life. So if you're anything before 50, you've got such an amazing head start on people. It's really, really cool to think the progress you could make.
Well, if we started living to 900 like we're supposed to,
that's true.
Then we're little babies in the journey.
That's right.
What is it? David Wolf says he wants to live to when?
3,000.
Okay.
That's his written goal.
Wow. That's a little intense.
That's a
little much.
He says if you aim for Pluto and hit the moon, then you're successful. So if he lives till he's 150, then that's pretty cool.
I found this article that was really cool. From the Elite Daily. It's called 10 Things That People Who Love Their Lives Are Doing Differently. I thought this was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Here's just the little titles of them. But 1, they don't bother trying to make others like them, mainly because they don't care if they're liked.
Oh, cool.
Which talk about is true. Half of our life is trying to, make others happy.
Please others, yeah.
They don't do things because they want to do them. They do them because they believe in them.
Ooh.
Wait, no. I'm sorry, I got that totally wrong.
Sounds good.
They do things because they want to do them, not because they believe they have to do them.
Oh, okay.
That was completely different, but I made up a good one.
Well, it's similar, though, yeah.
They love their friends, but don't rely on them. That's pretty cool. It says, friends are tricky because they aren't really yours, are they? You don't own them. They're their own people who have their own wants and needs. Friends are great to have, but relying on them too heavily will leave you disappointed, which is true.
Yeah, because nothing really is ours. We don't own anything.
We don't own anything.
Yeah.
When you ask them what they do, they don't give you a job title. How cool is that?
What do you mean, the friends?
Yeah, no, this is just about people who love their lives that are doing things differently. When you ask them what they do, they don't give you a job title. It says,
that's cool.
They tell you things about what they are doing with their lives, the places they have visited and are planning on visiting, the projects they are starting or a part of, the problems they are working towards solving, and the communities that they are working with to get those problems solved. When you ask them what they do, they respond by what they do in their lives, not what they do in order to pay the bills or the lives they want to one day be living.
That's cool because you're not defining yourself and you're not labeling yourself into a certain work position.
That's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, it's true. I mean, most people, when you ask what they do, they tell you, I'm an engineer, I'm a this. How about, I love to have fun with my kids. I'm a mother. I'm a farmer.
Because you're not an engineer. Your soul is not an engineer.
Exactly.
That's what your body does. But
yeah.
It's like
yeah.
crazy.
When you ask them where they live, they say, at the moment.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they're not attached to things.
Actually, you know what's funny is people in Creditors in Commerce, they talk about most people don't know who they are, where they live, and what their country is.
Uh-huh.
They get all three of those questions wrong. They don't know who they are. They don't know where they live. They don't know what country they live in. So who they are is a soul or spirit. Mm-hmm. Where they live is in their body.
In the body.
Because where do you have all of your mental and emotional experiences? In your body.
But do you? Because I thought that it was outside of your body. Like we're not even in our body.
Well, that's true too.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then your country is whatever state you live in. People think, I'm
the U.S.
I'm
citizen.
American or something.
I'm a Californian.
But speaking of living.
Interesting.
That person said, that you're reading, currently I live in.
Right.
So it kind of puts more of transient nature.
That's pretty cool.
I like that. Yeah.
That's what that paragraph talks about. Like, it's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
If you ask them where they live, then they'd answer Earth if they wouldn't come off sounding hallucinant or highfalutin. How funny.
Did you say Earth?
It said Earth.
Nice.
It says happy people tend to move around a bit. Maybe it's because traveling does good for the soul. Maybe it's because the stagnancy of staying in one place their whole life bores them. Maybe it's because they love meeting new people and having new experiences. Maybe it's because they haven't found the right place to settle down yet. You see, these individuals see the world as their home, no single country or city. If you ask them where they live, then they'd answer Earth if they wouldn't come off sounding highfalutin.
That's cool.
They have their own philosophies, their own religion they created and they live by. They embrace their impermanence.
Okay.
They see the world as their playhouse and their mind as the conductor. They live in the moment but dream in the future.
Nice.
And they don't bother changing others, but instead learn how to deal with them appropriately.
Wow, that's
kind of a cool article.
Don't bother changing others. That gets into a lot of stuff with health because a lot of us have family members or friends that are they're sick, and they know that you do healthy stuff, but they don't ask, or they're maybe they know of someone, but they don't ask, and they know that you do health stuff, and you see them suffering along, but you don't try to change anybody. You can't.
You can't
force people to change.
No, you can't.
That's good. I like that.
It is good. So they're happier overall. I mean, that's just an article on someone's opinion, but I think that's a good way to kind of have the measuring stick to live by.
Yeah, that's really cool. Kyle in Tampa Bay, we got a listener question here. He says, hi, guys, love your real podcast. I think he's talking about our Free for All Friday shows.
Nice.
Just being yourselves and sharing your lives with all of us forms such a healthy connection. Thank you.
Aww.
Are there any particular episodes which include discussions on water filtration for our houses and drinking? I can download podcasts easily using the iCatcher iPhone app. Which is 100% voiceover accessible for us blind guys. No way. Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's cool.
Wow.
iCatcher. Well, I never heard of that one. I don't have an iPhone, which probably makes a lot of sense why I wouldn't have heard of that.
You don't go around searching apps and things for phones that you don't have?
Nah, not so much. Too busy watching Gaiam or something. But yeah, so Kyle, we did an episode with Timothy Hickey from Friends of Water, episode 175. And we use all of his water filtration systems in our house and love them a lot. And he's got filters that filter chlorine, chloramine, chemicals, fluoride. You just have to call up your water, municipal water county information and call them up and ask them if there's fluoride in your water.
We did that after the show. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and we did that and find out there was none. And so we have the water filters that don't filter fluoride.
Yeah, because we don't have that need. Mm-hmm.
But chloramine, ammonia, chloride, all that stuff, and pharmaceutical residues and all that kind of stuff. So friendsofwater.com is the website, and if you put in a code Extreme Health, I think that's the right code. You'll get 5% off.
Nice.
And that way that'll let them know that you came from us. But yeah, we use their filters. We interviewed Tim Episode 175, good stuff.
I have one here from Jason.
Jason.
He says, "Hi guys, love your shows. Do you have a show on chlorella? There's so much info, it is confusing. Where can radioactive-free chlorella be found? Chlorella indoor or outdoor harvest? There are various species. Which one is best? Many different manufacturing and harvesting processes. Which one? Confused." Jason.
Join the club.
Yeah. The confused club.
The confused club.
Unfortunately.
You know what I would recommend is I would recommend listening to the episode that we did with Ty Bollinger. Near the end of that, Ty talks about a product that Mike Adams is going to be coming out with that deals with radiation and helps your body detox that in a really, really effective way. Radiation from Fukushima and all that kind of stuff. So,
and he said he claims basically you could take it and go eat a bunch of sushi right out of Fukushima waters and be completely fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it sounds like it's going to be really powerful. It's not out yet. I think they're still testing it. And you know how Mike Adams is with testing things.
Is it a chlorella product?
I don't know. That's what I'm not sure about. But as far as chlorella goes, I think I would start by going to naturalnews.com. And I think that Mike Adams has some chlorella on there that he's tested in his laboratories that is pure and free of chemicals and toxins and radiation and things. That's where I would start. Go to naturalnews.com and pick up their chlorella, or there might be an ad for it on his site. I forget.
Okay.
But I like Mike Adams. I like what he's doing, and
he seems to be pretty thorough with his testing.
Yeah.
In my findings.
So I came across. We've been loving these salt lamps lately.
Yeah.
We have a couple of them here, and I love. So I came across this article about the benefits of these things. I just really like the way they look.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. At night we throw them on, and
yeah, they're just really cool.
But, you told me this week that they're actually beneficial to your health.
Yeah, I didn't really realize that. It attracts humidity, causing the surface of this crystal to become moist, and it creates a buildup of ions and removes moisture from your air. It binds excessive positive ions with negative ions. It helps to neutralize the electrosmog in your air and reduces allergens and irritants. Creates potential soothing effects for you from multicolored salt crystals. And they talk about the ionization that these things put off, the positive ions, the electromagnetic oscillation. Every form of life on the planet depends on electromagnetic field of vibration. Due to electronics and industrialization, your body receives artificial electromagnetic wavelengths with many diverse frequency values, and so this thing helps to offset that. Transparent crystalline structure developing the light waves. So it's really interesting.
I thought they were just pretty.
I know, right? That's why we got it.
Wow. And you can lick them.
Yeah, that's.
Do you remember all those people talking about licking their salt lamps? I think it's kind of creepy, but we licked it when we first got it. Do you remember we barely touched it with our tongue to see what it tastes like?
Yeah, that was funny, huh?
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, I really like these little salt lamps. They're pretty cool.
I want more. They're very soothing at night, like when we're watching stuff on the Gaiam or going in the sauna. They're really peaceful.
I know, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. You want to do a couple more listener questions after the break?
Yes.
All right,
you caught me mid-stretch.
We're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back.
Kate and I have had our sauna for about a year now, I'd say, when we first got it from Phil Wilson. And it's an incredible machine. We use ours about every single day. Kate sits in about 20 minutes, and I sit in there about for a half hour. Usually watch a documentary, and it's extremely relaxing. It's really, really incredible machine. And if you go to extremelealthradio.com/sauna, you can learn all about it. We did an entire hour interview with Phil Wilson. You can check that out. You can look at the pictures of us with it. You can watch videos on that page. It helps you to sleep really, really well. You can lose a lot of weight with it. You can burn, I think, around 600 calories in about 20 minutes or so. It improves your skin, increases circulation all over the body, and circulation is critical for your health. You can prevent and reverse diseases with it if you have a cold or flu. It's incredible. It heats you down to the core. It heats 4 to 6 inches inside your body, so it's really incredible. And a lot of people use it for cancer as well. So if you have any kind of incurable, quote, disease, you can use it for that. And Dr. Shade is the foremost authority on detoxification. and listen to what he says about it.
How do I detoxify from plastics? I mean, you guys are using a sauna, and what does a sauna do for us? A sauna is great. It's moving a number of different toxins. Remember, we talked about the mice, that if you put PCBs in there, then that made the mercurial that much worse. And sweating moves out a lot of plastics, volatiles, fat-based toxins. It's really good at moving those out, sweating those out. So that's how you're getting those out, and those are contributing to this synergistic soup inside the body. And so that's why they're good, is they're taking out a bunch of the different things in the soup.
And Daniel Vitalis, one of our favorite guests. What do you have to say about the sauna?
When you go into the sauna, like a far infrared sauna like you discussed, your body goes into a deep relaxation mode, and your sympathetic nervous system shuts down and your parasympathetic nervous system turns on. And when that's active, that's the nervous system, part of your nervous system that's active when you meditate. That becomes active, and your detoxification pathways open up wide. Why is this important? It's important because when you go running and you sweat, you're not necessarily eliminating very much toxicity from your body. But when you sweat in the sauna, you eliminate a lot of toxicity from your body. So sweating in a relaxed state is how we eliminate. The other thing is that what's wonderful about the sauna is that it puts you in a parasympathetic nervous system response, like as if you were meditating. So it's almost a hack. It's like a trick to get yourself into a meditative, relaxed state, to decompress stress, to reverse the effects of stress, and to get your body eliminating deep, deep toxicity that's stored in your body fat, because it can come out in the oils of your skin. So I think, sauna is one of the most crucial detoxification, really health practices that we could take on, especially in this era of heavy toxicity, particularly fat-soluble toxins.
This sauna is really, really great. They offer payment plans, because if you buy it through PayPal, it's 100% secure. You don't even need a PayPal account. I think you could do a payment plan through PayPal. It's got low EMF electromagnetic fields coming off of it. It's portable, so that means you don't have to knock down a wall in your house. You can just move it from room to room. It sets up in about 2 to 5 minutes. It's super easy to clean. All you got to do is wipe it down when you're done, and wipe the neck down. And it produces energy and heat inside very, very evenly throughout the whole machine. All you have to do is sit in there for about 15 minutes a day. And the great thing I like about it too is it requires zero preheating. So you turn it on and you're starting to get warm, and you're starting to detoxify with that far infrared light almost immediately. So it's really great. It comes with a 1-year warranty. It's about $990 plus $25 shipping. And that's really, really a good deal, because if you look at most of the regular saunas out there, they are in the $2,000 to $4,000 range. So this is really, really a good deal. So check it out, extremehealthradio.com/sauna.
All free shows, all the time on Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Join our community today. Call using Skype at Extreme Health Radio, or call 949-505-9585. That's 949-505-9585.
All right, we're having a great time. Time is flying by. Always flies by so fast, doesn't it?
It does. I had a very strange thought during the show.
Really?
You're still alive.
Me?
Yeah. I was thinking about, was it over a year and a half ago you got stabbed in the arm with that statue thing?
Statue thing?
Remember when you were walking to the gym and you got impaled?
Oh, yes.
And then you poured charcoal and you tried to rinse it out, and I thought for sure you should get a tetanus shot, and I thought you were nuts trying to deal with it naturally, and I just realized you're still here. I forgot about that.
Oh, my goodness.
For a few days there, I was a little worried you're going to get lockjaw.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that was a lie we bought into too. But
yeah, that was a rusty little thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, rusty sculpture. I'm thankful you're here.
Well, I'm
for another Memorial Day.
Glad to be here.
Anyway.
That's funny. I forgot all about that.
Wasn't that weird? It was a new memory.
Yeah, you know what I did is I put charcoal and other stuff, and
yeah,
it worked.
It really worked.
Yeah.
I remember you made me use a syringe of water to clean that thing out.
Oh, I did. hydrogen peroxide, obviously.
Mhm.
And I put
And it
some
bubbled.
charcoal. I cleaned that off and put a Band-Aid on it.
That was impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll do what I can.
I'm glad you're here.
So Sharon Dawn in the chat room says, I listened to the Wendy Wilson show on herbology. I was really concerned with your talk about chemtrails, which I don't know much about. But on the other,
But other than
just detoxing all the time, did not get any real answers on what one can do to remove these toxins from the body. Really, how serious of a problem is this? Interesting question, Sharon. I don't know. I would just assume that it is very serious.
yeah.
Like she was talking about how they've tested, the aluminum, the high aluminum levels. There's a really interesting documentary if you want to learn more about it called "What in the World Are They Spraying?"
On us.
Yeah, and there's another one called "Why Are They Spraying?" or something like that. It's two different documentaries. You can learn more. But what I would suggest in terms of getting those metals out, lots of different things you can do. Cleansing of any and all types. So you can do saunas, sweating. You could do colonics, enemas, zeolite. If you go to our store, we have a zeolite that we recommend, or you can just go to extremehealthradio.com/zeolite or /sauna. The rebounding is really good because it cleanses your lymphatic system. That's why I do it every day. You could go to a colon hydrotherapist, which I would recommend. There's different herbal cleanses that I would highly recommend. That basically it just comes down to cleansing this stuff out of your body. We recommend an Ejuva cleanse. So if you go to extremehealthradio.com/Ejuva, EJUVA, there's a really great cleanse by Dr. Charles Partito, who we interviewed. It's a really great cleanse. So we recommend that, or just any herbal cleanse. If you don't like that one, go somewhere and get an herbal cleanse and start doing that. The zeolites are really great for pulling heavy metals, all that kind of stuff. The sauna is really great for pulling out, as you just heard in the commercial, for pulling out fat soluble toxins. So those are all things that I would recommend, and just assume that there's less than great stuff falling on us from the sky. Just assume that.
Less than great stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I mean, it is weird. We were saying that we don't remember as kids seeing all those, trails in the sky like that.
No.
We'd see regular airplane ones, but they disappear pretty quick. But
yeah.
I have somebody wrote in about the Wendy Wilson episode.
Oh, cool. Someone else?
I'm not sure the name, WYDE.
Oh, okay.
Is that Wade or
Wide, maybe?
FYI, research Monsanto's newly emerging, quote, aluminum-resistant seeds. There's your answer to why the chemtrails will kill natural plants and not GMOs. Wow.
Aluminum resistant. So research Monsanto's newly emerging aluminum resistant seeds.
Yikes.
Oh, wow. That'll take you down a rabbit hole. You probably
that's whew.
get you depressed, wouldn't it?
So if you research it, though, it's out there.
Aluminum resistant seeds.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on, huh?
Wow. So why chemtrails will kill natural plants and not GMOs.
Not GMOs.
You know what you really got to do is grow your own groceries and put tarps and stuff like that over your garden.
I know, but how, that's not very practical.
I know.
I can't imagine having, garden beds and having all these tarps all over the place.
Yeah, pretty wild.
It's awesome, but it does seem a little hard.
The other day I came across this interesting article on this really interesting website called Collective Evolution. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Collective-Evolution.
Okay.
And there's a story about how this lady cured her mom's skin cancer at home, and she had some sort of basal cell carcinoma, which apparently is a less aggressive form of skin cancer. And according to the medical industry, it's not deemed life-threatening, but they still diagnosed it as a basal cell carcinoma.
Okay.
And there's a scab that started developing on the crown of her mom's head, and it would start to bleed and scab and that kind of thing. And she did this whole protocol. If you go through, she takes photos, day 1, day 2, 3, 4, all these different protocols about how she healed it. Pretty interesting. And
how long did it take her?
It looks like it took 38 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The skin surface has remained clear of the basal cell for now. I'm still continuing to apply the baking soda and coconut oil every day, along with apple cider vinegar soaked cotton pads that I place over the area to reach the basal cell root. My mother will be scheduling regular follow-ups with her doctor as well as another biopsy.
Huh.
And he talks about the method he used, or I'm not sure if it's a he or she, but she says raw organic coconut oil. The brand I used was Artisana.
Oh, right. We use that too.
Yeah. Aluminum-free baking soda. So we'll put links to both these as well. If you can maybe write that down. We'll put Artisana and baking soda. Aluminum-free baking soda. A shot glass to effectively stir the mixture within. Something to stir the mixture with. I used a narrow handle of a metal spoon. Polysporin 333 antibiotics or any other antibiotic ointment to apply at night. And then she goes through, I stirred the 1 part baking soda with 1 part coconut oil in a shot glass until it became a malleable paste that was easy to apply. It helped to apply a bit of warmth to melt the coconut oil faster. I let the shot glass run under hot water for a bit. Using the handle of the spoon that I stirred with, I applied the mixture to the affected area. I did not rub it in. Instead, I gently slathered the area with the paste and let it remain there as long as possible. Then I applied a shower cap to keep the treatment in place.
Oh my gosh.
This is cool. I aimed for 3 applications a day for the first week and 2 for the second week moving forward, and made sure to properly clean the affected area before each application. A basal cell has roots that can reach deeper into the skin than it appears. It is not just on the surface. Therefore, I learned that it is important to continue using the treatment much longer, even when the skin has fully patched up. Pretty cool, huh?
Wow. How old was she?
Let's see here.
Did it say?
To the article. It doesn't say how. Just says for the last 3 years, my mother's been suffering with a type of skin cancer called basal cell.
You know, so many people have that when I've talked to people. Like usually, you know, my clients have come in the salon and say that they, oh wow, ooh yeah.
I just turned the
looking
monitor.
looking at the picture here. That's crazy looking.
Yeah, watch. I'll scroll down, but it's pretty cool how it.
Oh my gosh.
How it goes away.
Can you put a link to that?
Yeah, I'll put a link to it.
Yeah, a lot of my clients usually will come in and say, oh, be careful of this thing on my head or my face, you know, when you're washing my hair because I just had it burned off. And I was like, oh, is it skin cancer? And they always respond, it was basal cell. Basal cell is like
it's a big deal.
Big deal.
Huh?
People always say that. Hey, in the chat room.
Yeah?
We have a guest saying, Justin, I would like to call in, but it's busy. Can you talk a little bit about your experience having raw eggs in your smoothies? Cure Tooth Decay has a recipe for raw eggs and raw milk for teeth. Any thoughts?
Raw eggs in the smoothies. Yeah, for a while there, I was doing 2 eggs per smoothie. So
yeah, you were. I was doing 1. Yeah,
I did the raw. Let's see, what did I do? There were 2 raw eggs in each smoothie, and so I do 4 raw eggs a day. And it was the funny thing about that is that according to my blood work, I'm sensitive to eggs. According to my blood work, I have a slight reaction to eggs, and I'm not supposed to do it. But when I would eat the eggs cooked, I would always have a little bit of a weird feeling in my stomach, like a tightness. Felt like it was just hard to digest if I scrambled them. But when I put them in my smoothies, they seemed to be okay. But then when we talked to a naturopathic doctor about this, he said it doesn't matter if it's raw or cooked in terms of an allergy. It's just because of the sulfur compound. And
the sulfur compound.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but I seem to do pretty good with it in my smoothies. I haven't done it recently, but
did you test a blood test for an egg allergy?
I did, yeah.
That's what I thought. The whites? Was it the white?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
That's the thing. I don't know. But Cure Tooth Decay, that's a great book. Has a recipe for raw eggs and raw milk. I wonder what the recipe is for the raw milk. I didn't see that because I have that book, but I haven't seen that. Yeah, I don't know. You're looking at, I guess, remineralizing your teeth.
Sounds like it, huh?
Yeah, I would do everything in that book. I don't technically do well with raw milk myself. My body just doesn't seem to work too well with it. But there's really, really, really great recipes in that book. It's called Cure Tooth Decay by Ramil Nagel.
Yeah, you've read it. I haven't done it, but I should read it all just to be kind of informed.
There's all kinds of things
there is to save your teeth with.
Yeah, people do like a high vitamin butter oil. They'll grind up, they'll boil the egg shells, and then they'll dry them out and grind them up into a powder and put the egg shells into their smoothies.
Yeah.
They'll do high vitamin butter oil, ghee, and a lot of these fat soluble, really nutrient dense animal products that are either raw. Ghee's not raw, but there's some really good value there for.
Is oil pulling good for that too?
Oil pulling, yeah, that's really good for pulling toxins and things like that off.
We use coconut butter.
Yeah, some people do. I think sesame seed oil for oil pulling. Mm-hmm. But I
also want to know if we taste the eggs. I tasted them in a smoothie and it really bothered me because I do not like that flavor. So I was trying to mask it. So that's kind of what turned me off and to keep doing it. I don't do it anymore. Did you taste them? You said you tasted them a little, didn't you?
I did a little bit. Yeah, you can, there's ways to mask the flavor of the eggs. What we were doing was the One World Way, and that seemed to help a lot.
Mm-hmm. I put a lot of berries, blueberries.
Yeah, a lot of fruits, but then that also gets into the sugar, which is, detrimental for teeth. And
as far as now, what we try to do to stay cavity free is we both had our amalgam fillings taken out. And so now we can use a food grade hydrogen peroxide nightly and swish it around in our mouth, along with brushing with baking soda and sea salt mixture as like a paste in our mouth. And I try to leave that on at night along with the hydrogen peroxide. I think you do too.
Yeah.
Is it a 35% grade?
I think that's 35%. Yeah.
And so, that's supposed to kill everything in your mouth. Mm-hmm. Keep you from getting cavities as long as you don't have the metal in your mouth, because that could be leaching things into your body. Yeah, exactly.
And so I'll take a little capful of the food grade hydrogen peroxide, put that in a cup, a little scoop of the salt and the baking soda, put that in the cup, and then I'll fill the cup up with about a half a cup of water. It's not a half a cup. It's just really enough to fit in your mouth. And then I'll mix that all up into a little thing, and I'll swish around in my mouth and spit it out and go right to bed. So that's one of the things we do. And then in the morning, I try to do oil pulling. And I tell you what, after getting our teeth worked on and getting our teeth pulled, and
we'll do anything not to have to go through that again.
Yeah. So I am just meticulous about brushing my teeth and taking care of my teeth, flossing and all that right after. Anytime I eat anything with sugar in it, like a date or goji berries, or if I have a fruit smoothie or something, immediately as soon as I'm done, I'll rinse out my mouth with baking soda, because the acid-alkaline balance, because fruits are very acidic.
You only do the hydrogen peroxide at night though, right?
Yeah, I just do that.
And do you dilute it?
Not really, just with a little bit of water.
I do a little water. I don't put it straight in when I've done it into my mouth.
The entire amount of liquid that I have is about enough to swish your mouth that way. So I don't put that much water, but then again, I don't swallow it either. I rinse it out in my mouth, and that's what I do right before bed. And then in the morning after breakfast, I'll do the oil pulling and things.
It works.
Yeah.
Well, so far it's working, but I know when you go through something like this, it's like, you don't want to mess around with your teeth.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. You don't want to mess around with your teeth.
Nope.
Not at all. So let's see. We've got some good things coming up next week too. For those that are interested, we have Michelle Bardwell from flowerroad.net, and she's going to be talking about aromatherapy. She's going to be talking about, she's a iridologist, and she's really interesting lady, and she does essential oils and cleansing and detoxification. So that's going to be a good show on Monday. And then on Wednesday we have Anne Louise Gettleman.
Okay.
And she'll be talking about hormones and her weight loss, and how the thyroid affects our weight and our hormones, and how to lose weight. And she's got this whole protocol with smoothies and specific smoothies for certain situations, and
specific smoothies for certain situations.
Yeah, she's got this whole thing that she's working on. She's really amazing. She wrote a book a while back called Zapped, which is how I originally heard about her.
She'll be good.
Yeah, and she talked about the dangers of electromagnetic fields and things.
Well, Maggie needs a lesson because she's curled up right under all the cords and wires underneath the big desk here.
And then on Thursday we have Chris Kaler.
Nice.
We're going to ascend to the 33rd dimension.
Or something like that. Or so we hear.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
That's going to be great.
Chris Kaler, for those that you don't know, is our resident energy medicine practitioner here at Extreme Health Radio. So he's going to be shooting us into the depths of the universe.
And hopefully back. So we're here to do more shows.
That's who we'll be back on Monday. But he's a really interesting guy doing a lot of work with energy medicine and things like that. So he's really fascinating.
He's very interesting.
Caused quite the commotion too whenever he's on.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about his stuff and get good results with him too.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
Yeah. Is there anything else you have to talk about?
I think that's about it. I do have a little fun fact here.
Oh, okay.
If you want to hear it.
Yeah, let's do it.
And now join us for Fun Facts with Kate.
Oh, man.
Where you never know what
Okay, please
the heck is
block
on
out
her
the
mind,
scary laugh.
or gonna come out of her mouth.
Okay, thank you. We got to get rid of that whole thing. All right.
We keep talking, but we never take action.
We
on it,
don't.
do
We have too many other things that are more important
That's
than my
true.
demon laugh.
Demon laugh.
Best foods for stronger bones.
Ah,
This is good. Who doesn't want strong bones?
I love it.
I know. We should pass this on to every woman, your mom, my mom's age.
And men,
because
too.
they're always talking about it. Yeah, men too, for sure.
Yeah.
Spinach, broccoli, almonds, bok choy, flax seeds, kale, mustard greens, and sesame seeds.
Really?
Those are all the best foods for building stronger bones.
I love that. That's cool. That reminds me, there's a really cool program. I don't know if you guys are interested in this, but a really interesting thing that Dr. J.E. Williams has done with Kevin Gianni.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a whole program. If you go to extremehealthradio.com/bones, you can check it out. And I've gone through that course.
Have you?
Oh my goodness. You would not believe the amount of information that they offer there and stuff that you would never think possible about how to build strong bones.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Huh.
You get the PDF documents and recipes and the interviews that go along with that. I think there's like 2 or 3 or 4 interviews that there's a whole program about how to build strong bones.
Your bones look good to me.
Well, thank you.
You must be doing something right here.
I do what I can.
No, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so for anyone who's got osteopenia or osteoporosis or the onsets of these things,
It's like our teeth. Our bones and our teeth we should all be caring about all the time. I mean, there's stuff that are bound to have problems later on if we don't take care of them. So,
because think about it, it's such a slippery slope. You know, you have, people when they get older, they slip and fall because they lose their balance because they're not they're not doing yoga or something. And then when they fall, they break their bones.
Yeah.
It becomes this whole cycle.
Yep.
And then they have to go through surgery, and then their body's damaged from surgery.
Yeah.
So,
or you have to go in the hospital and you get problems there.
Yeah.
Talking to Wendy Wilson about the camel disease or whatever the heck that was.
Camel, yeah. And then remember, Ty Bollinger was talking about how many people die from hospitals.
I know. Going into a hospital. Yikes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Don't roll over Maggie, by the way. She's right by your foot.
I see her.
Okay.
I see her. So I think that's about it, right?
Let's do it.
All right. So I want to thank all of you guys for listening. This is episode 254.
It was really fun, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for being a part of the chat room. Sorry that our phone wasn't working. I'm not sure why it doesn't work on when you call that number. That's really strange. But we'll try to figure that out, and you can always call on Skype as well. But we're wrapping up the show now. It's time to go do some things. But
guest in chat room also asked if we can talk about having hope in healing as they're getting discouraged. So maybe next Free for All, we need to make note of that. That would be a really great thing to talk about.
Yes, that's
a great idea because I know so many people are in the same boat, and it'd be neat to have some people even call up and talk about their journeys. If they can.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah,
thank you for sharing that. We'll definitely make note of that.
I put a note right here for that.
Perfect.
And we'll talk about that next week. Episode 254. So if you guys are interested in any of the things that we talked about, the links that we mentioned, the books that we mentioned, or anything like that, all you have to do is remember 254. 254. So you go to extremehealthradio.com/254. And I'll also put a link on that show page too. If you have any questions or comments about the show, you can leave a comment on that show, or you can click over to our forum and sign up for a free account, register, and join the community of other listeners who are really into this stuff.
Yeah.
Who know a lot.
They know a lot.
They know a lot.
Makes me look silly.
So, no. So you can join the forum. We'd love to have you part of that community. It's Facebook free. It's a
Facebook free zone.
Facebook free zone. So please join there if you could. And we would appreciate that, growing the community so we can all help one another. And appreciate you guys listening. And I think that's about it, right?
Yep. You want to end with a quote?
Let's end with a quote.
Okay. Everybody have a great day and a great Memorial Day weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
Sounds good. Okay. What do you got for us?
This comes to us from Terry Cole.
Terry Cole.
Any relationship that becomes a source of pain or creates stress on a regular basis can be considered a toxic friendship. It's interesting. I'll read it one more time.
I love that, yeah.
By Terry Cole. Any relationship that becomes a source of pain or creates stress on a regular basis can be considered a toxic friendship.
Thank you for listening to this episode.
Maggie says it's time to go for now, but our mission does not end with this show.
Justin and Kate will be back with another interview packed full of ideas, discoveries, and unique ways to regain your health.
Head on over to extremehealthradio.com/subscribe and instantly download our free gift too that contains cutting-edge strategies to start making healthy lifestyle changes today.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even as you educate yourself in the field of live food nutrition and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers or listeners medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as a diagnosis of any disease, nor an attempt to treat or prevent any disease or condition. While information in this blog and during this podcast is discussed in the context of numerous conditions, it can be dangerous to take action